I don't have to change anything on Streamlabs. What a refreshing change.
That should never happen.
What a refreshing change. We'll happily
So being
have.
it St. Patrick's Day, I thought it was only right to get Sapporo.
Oh man, I'm gonna struggle today with this one.
Which is weird considering you're doing most of the talking.
Oh, I'm gonna struggle with this one. So for a start off, I'll just give you a highlight of today. Ellie's been going a bit cabin fever. She was like, I want to get out of the house. So she said last night, she said, well, we're going to go out, see what the weather's doing. If it's a nice day, we're going to go to the beach. If not, she's going to take us to this town about an hour away where it's like natural hot springs and blah, 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 X, Y, and Z.
Oh, darling. Sounds fun.
So we went there. She says, oh, we're going to go on a walk. So we went on one of the trails, which was damn near up like a steep mountain like this. Literally, I was cursing her. I was livid with her. I was gonna. Things were set up on that mountain because I'm like, why are we up at this halfway?
Quite easily have ended this relationship.
Oh yeah, it was bad. It was bad. But anyway, we eventually got down. I've jarred my ankle on the way down, which is just fabulous as well. And then we booked ourselves into the natural hot springs. So we went to there for half an hour. That was lovely. That was really nice. I'll tell you what.
That would have helped your ankle, actually.
It helped me. Well, my ankle's still throbbing, so it hasn't even through a couple of pints of beer sort of thing. But it's still throbbing, so that's how bad it is. But then,
not good.
And then we went into the town for lunch, and it was like, oh, there's an Irish bar. We'll jump in there, and there's all these decorations, and I'm like, why is there all the decorations? They went, well, it's because it's St. Patrick's Day, and I was like, is it? totally forgot about it. So anyway, they had a live band on, and
you're a horrible Irishman forgetting about. Oh,
dude, I was after my chilled out spa session, I was like zoned out, sort of thing, and I've really struggled. And then of course I've had a couple of beers and listening to the Irish music and everything, and yeah, like it had. They ended up doing what's that song? I only know it as the Clover song because Clover Butter did an advert where they changed the words for it. And we all love Clover.
Danny Boy?
Yeah, no, it's not Danny Boy. It's something like that. But anyway, so there was that, and we're all banging the tables. We're having a great time, sort of thing. And then, yeah. And then on the car, on the way back, I've been like half in the back, like half falling asleep because I had this pie, right? I had lamb stew pie with chips.
And it's the proper English pie where they've got like the mash on top with a big.
No. It was enclosed, fully enclosed, plus pastry, pulled lamb. Delicious. They served it with a jus and everything. I even asked them for some vinegar so I could vinegar me chips as well. Oh, it was great.
And they actually had the right vinegar?
No, they didn't have the right vinegar, but any vinegar was appreciated. It was very nice, sort of thing. But anyway, so yeah. So today I am extraordinarily tired, and if I can get through my reviews of these movies I've watched this week without falling asleep or yawning, I'll do well.
Well, I'm shattered because originally last night we were going to watch Madam Web because that's just come out onto streaming services, torrent sites, whatever you want to call them.
Yeah.
And
your completely legal means of watching
it. and Cherish is like, do you want to watch this together? So I was like, all right, cool. So I put it on her stick, the one that she takes upstairs that I download her shows for, which is for her to watch.
Mm-hmm.
And then obviously today I just found out that my storage unit where I've got some of my like furniture and stuff that I want to take to the new house is gone up by $50. I'm like, oh, far out. I'm like, that's ridiculous. $50 a month. I was like, you can eat a dick for that. And then and I called the dude and I'm like, listen, what do I have to do to get it? Thingo. He's like, well, the 1st of April is when
it's due.
Is when your storage unit comes out. You're meant to give us 30 days in writing, but I'm new here, so I don't know that. So how about I just say, listen, I'll just end the automatic update and let them know that you rang me a while ago and I just forgot to do it.
Yeah. Oh, well, at least that's good of him.
Thanks, bro.
That's nice of him,
so
at least.
Like, that's all right. So I won't go up. And then I went on Airtasker, which I've never used before. Do you have Airtasker in New Zealand?
No, what's that?
So you like post jobs like I'm moving or I need a clean or I need somebody to take like say, for example, this document from point A to point B. So you just post jobs of whatever you do, and then people will come back to you with a price and stuff and go,
Okay.
this is how much it will be. And I was like, and a friend of mine said, just use Airtasker. Some dude with a van will probably just rock up, put everything in the back, and take it here. And to be fair, it's a bookshelf, and then it's about 10 or 12 like 80-liter boxes,
Yeah.
tubs that I've got like board games in. I actually found a whole heap of 40k miniatures that I didn't know I had.
There you go then.
It's
a win-win.
I did know I had them, but I thought I gave them to a friend. But I'm guessing what happened is when I gave him the keys to go get them, he decided not to. So they're still there. So I'm like,
Sweet,
bonus.
it's
And
free miniatures. Take it.
I'm pretty sure he paid me a couple $100 for them. So I'm like, okay, cool. And then so I did that in the morning. I come back, and she's just sitting there. And as I walk upstairs, I'm like, all done. Do you want me to go? Do you want to come shopping with us? Because we had to pick up a few things. And she's like, no, I'm 3/4 of the way through Madam Web. I don't want to. I was like, fuck. I'm like, so today I was going to talk about Madam Web because I thought we were going to watch it last night. And then I thought maybe we'll watch it today beforehand.
Yeah.
And no, she watched it. And she actually loved it.
Okay. I haven't had an urge to watch it yet, sort of thing. I will probably watch it at some point, but yeah.
I want to watch it because I just, from what she has said, she goes, it is actually quite good. But the difference is it's kind of got this really beautiful sort of soul and psychology base to it and stuff like that.
Okay.
So I think if you're expecting it to be like Spider-Man or like Captain America or Thor or something like that, that's not what you're going to get.
Okay. All right.
There's a lot more emotion. It's a lot more spiritual. There's a lot more esoteric meanings through it and stuff.
That could be interesting.
But she actually loved it. And I was like, I don't know what's happened to my best friend, man. One Punch, Last Airbender, Madam Web. I'm like, what the hell?
So we're slowly turning her into a nerd, is what I hear you saying.
I'm trying.
Well, I'll tell you what.
But the problem is, though, is I haven't been doing it. She's just been doing it herself. She goes, oh, this looks good.
It's gaining popularity, brother. It's gaining popularity. She'll be wanting to watch X-Men 97 next.
Oh, no, I'm hanging for that. Hanging for that.
Well, but I'll say, my week, I decided to watch. We've watched 2 movies this week. The first one is Spaceman. After us discussing it last week, and Ellie was out on a night shift, and I thought, you know what, I'll watch it, and then if it's any decent, I'll tell you to watch it, and then we can review it. Okay?
Yeah.
Thought all well and good. My God, it is a boring ass movie. It is terrible. It was not engaging. It is not what I expected it to be. Sort of. I don't know what I expected it to be.
I expected to be like Waterboy, but now he's a space and he's in man.
No,
I don't know.
It was. I mean,
so it's like more like a drama.
Yeah, basically, in a nutshell. So basically, they are the Czechoslovakia. He's from Czechoslovakia. They're in a race to get to this gas nebula against the Koreans, and the Koreans are in the ship behind them. They're not far behind, basically, from what I understand. He's on his own, and basically he's left his partner who's pregnant, and he's going through emotional turmoil of whether he did the right thing or not. And then it turns out that on the way to this nebula, there's this gigantic space spider who is sentient, and he can hear the humming of his machines and stuff like that. So he comes in because he enjoys it, and he speaks English because apparently he's visited our world and observed it and learnt our language and everything else. But he never interacted, and he always was curious about human emotions and how we handle it and stuff like that. So it was a very psychological sort of thing, and they go into like his past when his father, because his father was.
Does anybody talk in a with a Czech accent, by the way?
It's not. I wouldn't say a proper Czech accent, but it's kind of.
At least he tries Eastern European.
It's sort of it's that blockish sort of, but they're all speaking English, but sort of thing, and everything. Yeah. It's a bit weird, but this is based off a book called The Spaceman of Bohemia, and basically. You go through the movie, and it's lots of the spider asking him stuff, and he doesn't ask anything of the spider until towards the end, where it's discovered that he's the last of his species and everything else. And because he was like, "Oh, how old are you?" And it's like, and then he said, "Oh, I'm roughly this." He said, "Are you immortal. And he was like, no, everything that lives, it does die. It said it's just not my time yet, and blah blah blah. But basically, on the way to this nebula is it has special properties where you can, if you go into it, you can see different parts of your past and future and everything else. It's really weird. It kind of goes a bit off the rails at the end, and I'm like, I'm still not enjoying this. So it was a very big snooze fest, in my opinion.
Because normally I know last time when it was the Barbie movie, Jordan goes, "Oh, you should watch it. It's amazing." And I think he was doing that to wind me up. But I'm like, this one was so bad that even he's like, I don't even want him to watch this. Like, I can't get 2 hours back in my life.
Yeah, it was really not good. I mean, as for I mean, bear in mind I said last week that I don't do spiders. I'm very bad with arachnophobia. So when you first see this thing on the screen, I was like, oh god, it took me a little while to get used to it, sort of thing. It was a bit of a struggle. But yeah, it was strange, sort of thing. I just didn't enjoy it. I get it was meant to be a psychological thriller, and it's about whether the guy is going mental or not, and blah blah blah. But then it turns out that this thing actually is real, and everything else.
And then at the end, he grabs a cat of raid and just goes. Psst.
Well, basically at the end, the spider is. It was killed by what I think was called the Goropods or whatever. That his race basically is these little internal parasites that eat the flesh, sort of thing. And apparently some had laid inside of him, but when he was in space, they were all dormant because they couldn't do anything. But him being on the ship, they started to breed inside of him, so he was dying as well. So there was a bit of it. They were trying to sort of make you feel bad about that, and it was just like, nah. And then it didn't hit home for me, sort of thing. At the end, I just kind of didn't enjoy it. But then that's the reason why I said to you, please don't watch it, because it is.
Yeah, it sounds
awful. But I will say this, right? In terms of the special effects, it was actually quite good.
The giant fuck off spider.
Right. The only problem I have with the giant spider is the fact is that he had his mandibles like that, but he had what almost looks like a human mouth when he was talking. So he'd move the mandibles and he's like that, and he's talking, and he's just like, it was quite distracting. And his front legs that he's using as his arms were they looked more like tentacles. So it was a bit, ugh. It kind of didn't look right.
Weird.
Yeah, it kind of didn't work, on some things. So yeah, it was a bit strange, sort of thing. But anyway, so yeah,
that's kind of weird, eh?
But the spacey bits where you see like the nebula and stuff like that, all that CGI work was really good. Looked quite decent, sort of thing. That wasn't an issue. But yeah, it was just, as I said, it was just a bit odd more than anything.
Yeah.
But yeah,
it sounds incredibly weird.
Yeah, but apart from that, so obviously that was a bit of a flop for the week. So last night me and Elle were just flicking through and finding something to watch for the night, and we decided on watching Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny.
Oh, I don't want to know, because I'm so tempted by it because it's Indiana Jones,
right?
And the last one sucked so badly.
Yes, I fully agree. All right, listen.
Okay, are the bad guys aliens?
No.
Okay.
So it's immediately better.
Worse?
Okay.
Yeah,
we go back to the Nazis. We're fighting. We're against the Nazis again. So happy days.
That's all right. It's kind of his thing. So I kind of understand that.
Yeah. Although this one is set in the late '60s, so it's a bit. I was a bit confused with time because I couldn't quite remember when
1948 was when the Nazi, or when the
the Soviets,
when the Soviets started to take over.
Okay, all right. So yeah, so in terms of timeline, it works out. That's fine.
Yeah, because 1948, the Nazis kind of gave up.
Yeah.
Everything after obviously they got beaten in the war. After the Italians secretly did one and just went, oh shit, we're going to be on the losing team again. Yeah. We better go switch teams again.
But yeah, so anyway, we ended up watching it, and I have to say, it's certainly better, a lot better than the last one.
Oh, really?
Is it perfect? No.
Is any movie perfect?
Is any well? No, right. For the problem is right. Okay, because everyone has
Was there a dragon in it and it was a bit too, not big enough?
no. But this is the thing, right? Okay, it's like it's Indiana Jones, right? Everybody has a favorite Indiana Jones movie, right?
Yes.
What's yours?
Oh,
Go on. Put a gun to your head. You can only watch one Indiana Jones movie. Which one are you choosing? Mine's The Last Crusade. That's my favorite one. The Last Crusade.
the one with Sean Connery.
Yeah, the one with Sean Connery is that was
Yeah.
belter. I love that
Just
one.
because, I mean, I think that one was probably the best, but also the fact that Sean Connery's in it as well just makes me happy.
Yeah. So this one, you find out that his son has died and he's getting divorced from because at the end of the fourth one, he gets married to Marion. Yeah, and he's getting divorced from her because his son died. He joined the army and ended up getting killed. And
so they did actually kill him off. I wasn't sure if they were...
Because obviously they set up the fourth film so Shia LaBeouf could take over the role and be...
And then Shia LaBeouf boofed it.
Yeah.
And then... Because I was wondering if that would even be mentioned or if they were going to figure out...
Well, what was quite clever, I clocked it really quickly early on. So there's the past bit where the war's going on. It's the end of the war. And the Nazis are trying to transport what they think is all this amazing historical stuff, and trying to get it to Berlin so it could be, because what is it? They're after the spear of. They have the spear of Longinus. No, the spear of Longinus. Yeah, they got the spear that stabbed Christ.
Yeah, the spear of destiny. That some people refer to it as.
Spear of destiny. Yeah, that makes sense. So yeah, but it turns out it was a fake. But they have in their possession they have the Ankiat, which is Archimedes' dial clock, Archimedes' clock.
Yeah, it's the compass, isn't
it? Yeah.
So it's the compass. Yeah.
So they end up rescuing this, but basically, and then it cuts to the 60s, and he's an old man, and he's on his last day for retirement and everything else, and basically it turns out that the Nazis one of the Nazi scientists who got for a start off, how he survived, no idea, because he was on the outside of the train, got smacked. Those water carried, the water stop ones.
Yeah.
The fill. He got smacked by that when he was hanging off the side of the train, and yet he lived. I mean, don't get me wrong. I like a ridiculous way to get rid of someone off a train, but there's no way. This train was traveling so fast. There is no way possible. That man.
Maybe when he got hit, it just knocked him unconscious, so his body was loosened, so he didn't tense up, and then he landed in like a giant thing of hay that just happened to be randomly sitting by the.
Literally, when you watch this and you see it, you'll go, "No way, this man survived, no way."
Yeah, I was going to say, I had some great plans with why people did certain things from Damsel. This one, I'm like, I can't really do this. You're getting hit at 80 k's an hour by a stationary object. You're not going to feel great.
Absolutely. Not only that, but the fact is, so the Allies actually blow up the bridge, right, to stop the train, right? Okay. Indy and Matey Boy jump off and blah, blah, blah. They jump into the water and they save themselves. That's fine. No problem at all. It then pans up to the shot. So, when they're getting out of the water, it pans up. And the train has, obviously, it has gone over the broken bit and it's jammed in there like that. But it hasn't fallen or derailed. And I'm like, no way. Absolutely no way. This train was travelling at speed. You mean to tell me it stays on the tracks? There's no way on God's green earth.
It's just, maybe.
It's physics. It doesn't work. It doesn't work.
It might have been like when it rolled around the whole tracks, so it's kind of like holding itself on, and it's, I don't know. Yeah, there's no.
Honestly, so there are a couple of physics loopholes in this that you all go, oh my God, really? But basically what happens is...
It is funny, though, that we're calling out physics loophole, and then yet in the third one, somehow we brought Dad back to life with some water in a wooden cup. But we're worried about physics.
Yes. No, we got to press the matter where we got it. But anyway, so basically, what happens when he pans to his apartment when he's an old man? One of the shots as it comes across, you see the triangle starred flag, obviously from when there's been a funeral. Sorry, a military funeral. Oh well, sort of a. Yeah,
it is a military funeral.
Military funeral.
They fold
it into the triangle and they give it to the thing. But then you see literally a photo of Shia LaBeouf in a military uniform next to his photo of his dad. And I'm like, oh my God, they killed him off. So I literally clocked that. And Elle went, what do you mean? I said, stop. And quickly went back 5 seconds and showed it. And I was like, and then they mentioned it. Like there's a conversation where they're talking about time. And if you could go back in time, what would she do? What would you do, Indy? And he's like, I'd go and tell my son not to join up to the army. And,
I mean, to be fair though, like I had a feeling they would have to try to do something because there was this, and especially if obviously they brought the wife back, even if it was just to divorce or whatever.
Yeah.
There had to be some way of doing it, but I'm like, I don't actually know how you would do that because how are you going to do that also without getting Mr. LaBeouf also back into the fold? And everybody kind of knows that, he's been a little bit special, so we say.
Yeah, but I have to say that de-aging CGI technology that they use, sort of thing. I have to say, because for the young scenes that it was used on, it actually looked quite good. It didn't look. It didn't look. Because the last time I saw it properly done was on the Mandalorian with Luke Skywalker, sort of thing, and it didn't look quite. It looked good, but not quite right. And
one of the best ones that I thought did all right was Princess Leia when they brought her back and they got her daughter to play her.
Yeah.
And then superimposed over it, mainly because I think face structure was similar enough it made it a lot easier.
Yeah, I don't know which actor they used for him, but it was certainly good in my opinion, sort of thing. But basically, I have to say it's really good. They've kept some things the same. Like obviously when they were traveling somewhere, they had the map montage, which
that's cool.
Classic map montage. I was happy when I saw it. I was like, yes, now we're talking.
I'm
Indiana
always
Jones.
happy when I see those, even when it's not in there. But like when you see some of them, like I think the Mummy did it as well at one point. I think the Librarian did it in a few scenes, and I'm like it's just the simplest way of doing it, and it just makes me happy. And I'm like, it's so simple. It probably doesn't cost anything, and it just shows you where they've gone. So you're like, okay, they're in Turkey.
Yeah, but no, it was. I have to say, it was good. It was also because it's his goddaughter, so it's kind of handing off the torch a little bit to her, sort of thing. When they go back in time, was a bit odd, sort of thing, because the one thing that was theorized with this compass that gets stated as a theory is that he could detect fissures in time and stuff like that, and that's how Archimedes was so smart. And they end up traveling back in time, and it's the siege of Syracuse, where it's kind of full circle from what he was discussing as his last topic at the for his lectures and stuff.
That's kind of cool.
So, but it was a bit sort of. I was okay with time travel, but going all that way back was a bit weird. Especially because because they're in an old what's the German bombers called? I forgot it now.
The which one?
The German bombers.
The B-2?
Yeah. Yeah, they're in one of them, and that ends up crashing. Okay? So the fact is that it's like, well, hang on. So you mean to tell me, because they thought it was a dragon, given the age and blah, they say shoot down the dragons. Because there's a B-2.
So there was a dragon in it.
There was technically a dragon in it.
You and Elle and your dragon fetishes are going crazy.
Oh, yeah, we are. We're going mental. But it was just, it was really interesting. The fact is that, all right, so there's this B-2 now back at the Siege of Syracuse, and we're not going to explain how it's never been found. Even if it was rusted beyond belief, something would have been left behind, sort of thing. Yeah. So nah, it was a bit weird. The ending sort of, it just ended a little bit odd, sort of thing. So
that was the biggest problem with the last one as well. Is that leading up to it, you can kind of be like, okay, cool. It wasn't too ridiculous. And then it was the ending where they went, yeah, it's fucking aliens. You're like,
oh, yeah. Well, no, literally, I mean, I was like willing to be on board with it being aliens until they actually, oh, no, it connects the thing. And then suddenly the alien comes back to life. And I'm like, no. That doesn't work. It doesn't make sense. That doesn't make sense whatsoever. Oh, and then the ship takes off. What? It's like someone had just gone, you know what, this is the best ending we can do. It's like, really? We couldn't just have it that the temple collapses or booby traps or something like that. But no, an alien comes back to life and then takes the ship that was crashed. It was a bit weird. Sort of thing.
Yeah.
That one
was a bit weird. Like, I have a feeling like I wish that they kind of went, oh my god, maybe it's aliens, and end up just being like an old dynasty with misshaped heads or something, and then what ended up happening was you get a booby trap and everyone starts running.
Yeah. No,
that would be so much cooler. But I'm just like, you just went the alien route, and that was just weird.
Yeah, no, it was strange. But yeah, it was but all in all, actually it was okay. It was just the ending was a bit meh. But in terms of an Indiana Jones movie, it was good. It was obviously better than the fourth. I'll tell you that right now.
Yeah. The fourth I thought was okay again until the end, where you're just like, oh my god.
Where in ranking to obviously Last Crusade's up there as number one for me. Temple of Doom. Oh, is it better than Temple of Doom? I would prefer it over the Temple of Doom. I was never a fan of that one. The Kaliha.
I like that, man. It had Gimli in it.
Oh, you get Gimli's back in this one as well.
Oh, is he fantastic?
Yes, he's in this.
I want him.
He's ever so slightly. He's a little bit of him.
And part of me really wanted Short Round in it.
Oh, that's the thing. I was looking. I thought, please let there be a photo or something, or even just because they had little cameos. Obviously, with like, I forgot his name now. Rhys Davies, something. Blah, blah, blah. But basically, Salah is in it, and I thought, oh, come on, just have Short Round as another lecturer or something,
How cool would that be to have him as a lecturer or something?
Yeah.
Or even just have him walk out and just have him say, all done, Mr. Jones, while he's fixing something mechanical, like a Data S.
Something like that would have been good. It would have been really good. I mean, at one point, I tell you what, actually, Antonio Banderas is in this at one point. And,
really?
No, but the first time you see him, I'm like, oh, it's like, he looks, I've said they've done something weird with Pedro Pascal. And they'll look at me and I was like, I don't think it is. And I was like, oh, it isn't. Who is it? And I was trying to remember his name. And I'm like, looking at him and I'm like, what is his name?
Antonio Banderas was like the original.
Yeah. No, I know he's the original Pedro Pascal. Don't get me wrong. But the problem is I couldn't remember his name. And I said, oh no, it's Matey Boy. And she went, who? And I went, Zorro. It's Zorro. That's the only thing I can think of. It's Zorro.
Matey Boy. It's Zorro. You're
and
like,
she went, you mean
hell?
Antonio Banderas? I went, yeah. And she went, oh. And then obviously another scene popped up where you could actually see his face proper. And we're like, yeah, it is him. It is. But it was
Jesus Christ! It's Zorro.
It's
to be fair though,
Zorro.
I guess it's better than it's that
Well,
dude that
it's Spy
plays Puss in
Kids, Dad.
Boots.
It's the Spy Kids.
It's Puss in Boots, Dad. What is it? It's
Puss
the
in
dude
Boots.
from. It's the dude from that Spanish film, Desperado. You ever seen that? That's such a good film.
No, I've not seen that. No, but yeah, but God
if
forbid.
you do yourself a favor, there's the El Mariachi, the Desperado, and then it kind of gets a bit too like Cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs when they go Once Upon a Time in Mexico. But the Spanish version of it, fantastic.
But yeah, so yeah, all in all, I actually did enjoy it. It was apart from the ending, it was okay. It was actually, I would actually give it a 7, maybe 7.5, sort of thing. It wasn't.
So you think this is better than Damsel?
Yes, yeah, it was better than Damsel. It's because it had the music. It was like, it kind of felt like, because I know that James Mangold directed it, right? I have a feeling that he had a quick speed dial chat with Steven Spielberg and said, listen, I need a hand. What is it I could do to bring this bring this back round for people? And they're
like, get John Williams. He's retired. Fuck.
But yeah, I kind of feel like it had all the good elements of a Steven Spielberg Indiana Jones. I was very skeptical. I was like, oh no, it's not Spielberg. I'm a bit worried, but
yeah,
it was actually quite good. So yeah, I would actually say it's at least a 7. At least a 7.
Wow.
Sort of thing.
I have to watch it now because I do like it. It was just after the last one, I'm just like,
I think that's the problem, because literally when you look at all the critic scores and ratings and everything else, I think everyone's gone into it going, please be better than the last, sort of thing. I think that's the thing, is people just want it to be better than the last piece of garbage, sort of thing.
Yeah.
And so everyone's kind of already got a bit of a hazy as a hazy eye on it sort of thing, and not too excited for it sort of thing. So I feel like you might actually enjoy it sort of thing. You'll especially enjoy it more than that bloody Spaceman nonsense I was watching sort of thing.
Yeah, it sounds like it was. I don't know how to put this. Yeah, it sounds like it's going to be. That Spaceman one just sounds like it. Yeah, it looks. It reminds. You know what it reminds me of? Remember when like in the early 2000s or even 2010s when Steven Seagal was still making movies, but he was like 400 pounds and but he would only make it in Eastern European and all the cast would be Eastern European.
Yeah.
And you'd just be like, you'd be watching this, you're like, I get that it's Steven Seagal, but like all of a sudden in his fight scene, he loses like 600 pounds and then he goes back to being chubby again. I'm like, yeah.
Yeah. No, absolutely. But yeah, so that's been my week of movies. I'm looking forward to this week though, because I'm gonna hopefully be able to go see. I want to go see Ghostbusters, the Frozen Empire, the new one.
Oh yes,
because that looks sick. And the week after, I've got a day off, and just so happens to be the same day that Godzilla and King Kong gets released. Sort of thing.
Man.
So I've literally said, I'm going to go to that. I'm going to go early doors, go for the first showing in the morning, and then I've got the rest of the day to play Helldivers when I get home, sort of thing. So
that is cool.
That's my plan. I cannot wait. But yeah, I literally watched the Frozen Empire trailer the other day, and I was like, yeah, I need to go watch this. This looks.
Yeah, I'm keen. Like, excuse me. Wow, that hurt. Yeah, like the last one that was on, I was like, Afterlife, I think it was. I'm like, yeah, I'm probably not going to see that at the movies, but I mean, it'll be fun. And I'm like, I regret not seeing that at the movies after watching it because I was really, really pleasantly surprised. And now that we've got the original Ghostbusters back,
yeah, which just looks awesome. It looks awesome.
Which is weird with Paul Rudd, who's probably the same age as the original Ghostbusters, but looks like he's in his mid-30s. That man is kind of crazy.
Hell, we even get Slimer. We even get Slimer back.
I know, that's exciting. Did you also see, I don't know if you saw it, but it's like, so obviously you know that we are big fans here of Papa Reynolds and Hugh Jackman.
Yes.
Have you seen that the MCU, Henry Cavill has been confirmed what he's playing in the MCU?
Oh, no. Oh, what's he confirmed as?
It's shit. Don't get excited.
What do you mean?
It's a Wolverine variant in the Deadpool and Wolverine movie. That's it.
Okay.
So, can we get some toast? Says, I can confirm that Henry Cavill will in fact play a Wolverine variant in this. Fans will be pleased with his appearance. And I'm like, So Wolverine, so you've got Henry Cavill that could be a number of things. Cyclops, Captain Britain.
Well, logically,
Century,
everyone kind of wanted him
anything.
as Captain Britain. Everyone kind of wanted him as Captain Britain.
Because it does kind of suit him. But I'm like, but then to go, we're going to do it as a Wolverine variant kind of feels like it's a bit shit.
Yeah. No, I'm... Oh, really? Wolverine? I don't know.
Don't get me wrong, I love Wolverine, and I'm hoping that the character can somehow live on when we do things. But I'm also like, really? Like, that's that, like, and I'm not against... Obviously,
I don't think he should. I mean, I know he's probably the role he wants. I mean, because we're talking about Henry Cavill, generally what he wants, he gets, sort of thing. Because, like,
I mean, unless he's going to continue to play it, which then I would probably be okay with. But even then, though, I'm like,
the problem is, I just can't see Henry Cavill being dark. Because Wolverine is a dark hero. Everyone likes him because he is. He has a, he is.
Yeah, but Hugh Jackman's not really dark though when you think about it. And have you seen the latest trailer that Henry Cavill's been in, where he kind of plays this kind of like British, sort of well-to-do aristocrat that he's like, oh, you got me out of jail. You do realize that the guys I'm choosing are going to be crazy.
Okay.
Oh, what is that? I can't remember what it's called now. I'm going to have a look because I've forgotten it. I watched the trailer last night. And I can't think of what it is. Oh, here it is. The Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare. So if you get a chance, watch it. So it looks like Henry Cavill gets let out of jail. And it's in post-production now and it's due to be released. in 2024. I don't know what it is, but it says the British military recruits a small group of highly skilled soldiers to strike against the German forces behind enemy lines in World War II. It's a Guy Ritchie film. It's super gritty. I believe that it's meant to almost be like the
It's
first version of British like Secret Service kind of thing.
it's a
Obviously,
bit
it's
like
Guy
what was
Ritchie.
that what was that other one? Inglorious Bastards.
It's
Sort of.
probably close to that. So
Yeah.
obviously, it has Henry Cavill. It's got Reacher in Alan Rickman. It's got a few. It's got Carrie Eves. It's got quite a few people in it. And I watched the trailer, and it's kind of cool. And weirdly, the storyline, it says billed as a true story about a secret British World War II organization. The Special Operative Executives, founded by Winston Churchill's irregular warfare against the Germans, helped to change the course of the war. So the idea is they go behind enemy lines, and then they start taking the Germans from the back, which just sounds like it'd be more Greek than German. But hey, but
not good.
but it looks like pretty much what's happened is they've kind of sent people around on a secret boat mission that have gone towards the back of where they do it, and obviously from there they're not ready for people, so they take them down. It is actually a really cool trailer, and I'm like, it kind of gives you this crazy, gritty look. Like when he's talking to them, obviously they get him out of jail, and he's in a suit and stuff, and he's drinking whiskey, and he's sounding very fancy. But then he kind of gets this kind of like crazy thing. So it looks like it could be released as early as April 19th in the US, but they haven't done it. But being Guy Ritchie, we can expect that it is probably going to be a little bit of cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs and a little bit darker, which is actually all exciting. So do yourself a favor, watch it after the podcast, or
I certainly am. I'm looking forward to it. It looks very interesting. I like they got the actor Babs. I'm gonna butcher this. Babs Olusomunkun in it.
bless you.
Yes, he's in what does he do? Oh,
He's in Dunes. He's in Black
Star Trek:
Mirror.
Strange New Worlds. He's the Doc in Strange New Worlds.
Oh, is he?
Yeah, I mean,
he's been in Dunes. He's in Dunes 1 and 2. It looks like he's also done some voice actors in Red Dead Redemption 2. He's been in a few things.
Okay. Oh yeah.
So yeah, but I'm like this one. I can't remember what happened. Oh, I remember what it was actually. I was at work and I was playing something because I was trying to learn how to do something on this program that we've just got at work. But the problem is though we've implemented this program, no one really knows how to use it. And there's things I was trying to learn and teach myself to do. So I found a YouTube video and I was watching it. And then what happened was I put my headphone down and I was talking to people. And then about 30 minutes later, I'm like, oh, why is my headphone sitting there? I'll put it back in my case, which starts charging it and also cuts it off of my thing. And next thing I know is music started coming out of my thingo and I was like, out of my computer. And I'm like, oh, crap. And then I had a look and I'm like, oh, and I rewound it and I was like, this looks cool. And it was a movie trailer that just happened to roll on. And I'm like, this actually looks kind of cool. I'm being Guy Ritchie. I have a feeling it's going to be quite cool, but you kind of get this crazy kind of almost psycho-like look at Henry Cavill. And I must say, it's very pleasantly surprising because it's not his very well-to-do, Warhammer-loving kind of self. He's kind of looks like he's a bit like shell-shocked or a bit cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, and I kind of dig it.
Okay, no, but I look forward to having to watch that straight after. That's interesting. No, it's about to say. I mean, as I say, I reckon he could do dark, but it's just that it's Henry Cavill, and he kind of, I don't know.
What about in the Mission Impossible, where he has to like recharge his arms?
I tell you what,
with that porn star mustache. That being said, though, he has a fantastic mustache and beard in this.
I'll tell you now, right, for a start off, with Mission Impossible, they should have stopped after the first one because the first one was great and every other one has just been a constant disappointment, in my opinion. Don't get me wrong, is it a good action? Do I prefer Mission Impossible over the Fast and Furious franchise? Yes. Okay? But it's still terrible. It's just, it's just too big. For no reason.
I don't know. Like I like it. It's also a good reason to see Simon Pegg on a regular basis. But I also feel like part of me, which I think is a bit funny, is that part of me thinks what's weird is the fact that what is it? Is I do feel like it is just Tom Cruise being like, look how big my balls are, and just pushing himself to do bigger and bigger stunts. And don't get me wrong, like they're impressive. I'm not going to say they're not.
Oh no, I know.
But I'm just like, bro, like really, like Now the stunts
It's
are bigger than the movies, and most people seem to think that, like when they show the how-to of the movie and then they show the actual stunt, like you've pretty much seen the movie because the storyline seems to just be slowly and slowly lacking.
yeah, no, it is. It is one of those things. I mean, I love the first. I mean, literally, I would happily go watch the first Mission Impossible now. I love the way that was done and shot, and that was so good back in the day. Obviously,
Yeah.
it hasn't aged super well, but but then again, it's the same thing with the James Bond movies, right? You watch them now, and people are like, "Oh my god, this is so dated." It's like, yeah, it is, but you know, it's still good. It's still all right, sort of thing.
Yeah, I must say, yeah, when you look at the James Bond films, you're like, oh, bro, this is not aged good at all. But
Yeah.
like, I mean, it's weird though because they are entertaining,
Mm.
but you kind of also go, yeah, like it's more than just a little bit misogynistic. And to be fair, I would kill to see us get away with a character named Pussy Galore or Octopussy in today's day and age. I just don't feel like it would necessarily go as well. But
Yeah. Well, at the moment, I know that certain criteria of the people are demanding that the next James Bond be female, and it's like it's not meant to be female. It's like, you know, that's not.
I would love to see him team up with, say, for example, like a 008 or 009 that
Who
is female,
is female? Yes, no,
rather than trying to change the character.
that would be good.
But at the end of the day, though, I don't think it would be that bad. But I think sometimes it can be a bit polarizing when you change the gender of something that has been so thing.
Well, yeah.
Like I know when I'm like, do you remember when the Doctor first got changed to female?
Yep. Yeah.
And this is a man that has changed actors, has changed hair color, has changed races. So it's almost not as polarizing because he does change every few seasons.
Yeah.
But to change James Bond, like I'd be like, I would love to see James Bond actually get in the shit, and then have a female James Bond come and rescue him.
Yeah.
Or something along those lines, which I think would be cool. And then they work together to do this, and also be it.
Mm.
But,
no,
yeah.
I agree. I think it would be really interesting to see, sort of thing. But I'm about to say, I think, I mean, because they kind of had that with Halle Berry, didn't they? With the although I was never a fan of I'm not a fan of the Daniel Craig era, quite frankly.
I didn't hate him, but I'm just like,
nah,
it did feel weird because they did seem to go backwards to
my
start to move it forwards, because the idea is Casino Royale is one of the first ones.
Yes, yeah, that's the right. The entire issue I have, right, is stems from Casino Royale. Okay, the reason why I have a problem with it is, one, they don't do gadgets, which is the entire point of a James Bond movie, in my opinion. It's taking a watch that has a laser built in it. Yes, you know, you want stuff like that, and the fact is, they're giving this awesome, cool car, and it just ends up getting blown up.
Or better yet, it's normally just a car. Like I do think though that's the biggest problem. Like I get that they were trying to go back and trying to do it, but it was also, I think, had a lot to do with the fact that Daniel Craig is a more gruff kind of exterior. He didn't have the same polish as, say, a Pierce Brosnan or a Timothy Dalton. He was more this gruff thing, and I do think though that as good as it was, and it did seem to re-establish James Bond, I personally don't feel like it was the best choice.
No, I mean,
because there is this distinguished sort of style and stuff to him. Yes, he is a bit of a posh git that is probably a bit too old school for today's day and age. But I felt like Daniel Craig, it was more like, oh, let's get an action star to play this thing, and it just didn't work.
But personally, I kind of want Idris Elba to have a crack at it, sort of thing.
I said that as soon as Pierce Brosnan left. I was like, let's get Idris Elba in there.
Idris Elba would have been good, man.
Idris Elba. I think we could also we could even get, obviously, Wolverine Harvey Keitel in there. I think that would be cool.
Harvey Keitel.
Harvey Cavill. Sorry.
Oh, Henry Cavill.
Henry. I was just reading this movie and it's got Harvey Keitel in it, and I was like, sorry, My bad. I
like,
should not be doing two
Wolverine,
things
Harvey
at once.
Keitel. I thought, what? I'm
No,
pretty
sorry.
good. I'm pretty good at my Marvel
Harvey
movies, but
Keitel, which is just a completely different thing. Yeah, while we're there, let's get Bob Hoskins to play have theme. No, Henry Cavill. Sorry, I shouldn't be reading two things at once. I think he would be good. And I feel like we should try to get some of these young actors through. But I do feel like they still need to have that kind of poise and the distinction about them, like James Bond. But that being said, I wouldn't be against a female one if it's handled right. But the problem is with James Bond is unlike the Doctor, they don't just change. I get that the idea behind James Bond is that you get the 007 rank and then you take on the name of James Bond.
yes,
But
yeah.
I don't. But it's never really been shown that it's like they die. It's more just that they evolve into a new character or whatever.
Yeah. Or as George Lazenby when he took over that one film, the one film he did was, this never happened to the last guy. Oh.
Yeah, we don't talk about that.
That was the beginning of the movie. I was immediately off the movie because of that. I was so angry. So I was like, no, you can't break the fourth wall. So this never happened to the last guy. No.
Yeah, I reckon Henry Cavill, Idris Elba, and then Vinnie Jones.
Maybe.
No,
What about Tom Hardy? What about Tom Hardy?
Tom Hardy, no, because Tom Hardy plays a better gangster. He's a bit more gruff. He's then that Daniel Craig version of it.
Oh, maybe he'd be a good bad guy. The good bad guy for it. That'd be interesting.
I think he'd be a great bad guy, and I think they should, if they do him, bring him in as like, you remember how I think it was 006 in one of them? Ended up being when they brought George Beam in as 006 or 00 something.
Yeah. There was Sean Bean.
Sean Bean. Sorry, what did I say? George Bean.
You said.
I was thinking. Fucking hell. It's because we were talking about Sean Larrabee. Oh my
George Lazenby.
George Lazenby. I'm just like, yeah. I mean Sean Bean. God. Remember Sean Bean came in as 00. I think it was 006.
I think it was 009 or so. It was something. He was his brother. Well, like not brother.
008. I think he came in as.
Yeah.
But I think if you brought Hardy in as a 00 like that, I think that would be cool, where he's this more gruff version of it. But I don't know if... I just don't feel like he could do that. Also, I feel like it sounds bad, but 007s, I think, also have to be more tall and slender and have a more, like, elegance to him.
That's it. He was 006. There we go.
Oh, 006 was it?
He was 006, yeah.
Which is 008.
Yeah,
he's 008.
Yeah. No, it's he was Sean Bean as Alex Trevelyan 006.
Oh yeah.
Which is quite good. Can we actually get a movie hopefully one day where Sean Bean doesn't have his head cut off or dies? That's the travesty we need. So
what's funny too though is it's become a thing where he dies, and I feel like now they just put him in movies where that character is probably going to be like one of the big guys, but he's going to die at the end. Because it's just become this running joke, and I'm like, I kind of don't hate that. And to be fair, if you're Sean Bean, it'd be funny too, because you're like, I know I'm going to die, this, that, and the other. And then occasionally you're just going to be like, looks, I didn't die.
Oh, here we go. The best movies where Sean Bean doesn't die. Here we go. This is going to be fun. We'll just go through this quickly. Let's have a look. So we got Troy. He lives in Troy.
Does he?
Flight Plan. Shopping. Never heard of that one.
No.
Silent Hill. He lives in Silent Hill.
So the one that you think you'd expect him to die indefinitely, he doesn't.
Percy Jackson and the Olympians and the Lightning Thief. Yeah. Well, he's Zeus in that. Yeah. Stormy Monday. Never heard of that one. Jupiter Ascending. He lives in that.
Really? No, that's not a bad film. That was a film that kind of Jupiter Ascending.
Yeah.
It was one of the biggest flop, and it made a small fortune. It had Mila Kunis and
Channing Tatum. Yeah.
And Channing Tatum. And Channing Tatum was like this rollerblading elf alien dude. It's not a bad watch as long as you don't think about it too much. But to be fair, this is you we're talking about. So you should never watch it.
Oh no, I have watched it and it is god awful. It feels like it is fan service purely for girls.
It is a bit of a fun watch, but you just like just don't think about it too much and don't expect for it to be amazing because it really isn't.
Yeah, the last three is Ronin.
Really? Ronin is such a good film.
No,
have you seen that?
No, I don't know that one.
Oh my god, go do yourself a favor. It's got what's his name? not Pacino, the other one.
Robert
De Niro in it.
De Niro, yeah.
It's got the guy from The Professional, Reno something.
Jean Reno, Natasha
Jean Reno.
McElhone, Stellan Skarsgård, Jonathan
Yeah,
Pryce.
Skarsgård. That's the Crow's new. Have you seen the Crow's new trailer?
No, I haven't seen that yet.
Also has Skarsgård in it, but his son, not him.
Okay.
But yeah, do yourself a favor. The Ronin movie is amazing, and it has one of the best car scenes ever. Any movie, and they literally are driving cars through the laneways of Nice, which if you've ever been there is literally like arm's length. It is such a good film.
All right.
Do yourself a favor, watch that.
Okay, all right, I'll get around to that. Possessor. Possessor. Never heard of that one.
That sounds like it's going to be a supernatural.
It has 94% on Rotten Tomatoes.
What?
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, that sounds like we need to watch that at some point. And
It's
then
called Possessor.
Possessor. Yeah. Possessor. Possessor. It's a mix of science fiction and horror.
Okay.
It's high.
An agent works in a secretive organization that uses brain implant technology to inhabit other people's bodies. Inhabit other people's body, ultimately driving them to commit assassinations for high-paying clients.
Interesting. Oh well, we'll have to try that. And then The Martian was the last one, sort of thing. But yeah, obviously he's just one of the engineers in it, sort of thing.
I was going to say, well, according to this, right, you have the top cast, and it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So he is the 16th person on the top cast. So probably the reason he doesn't die is because he probably is in it for about 20 minutes.
He's probably in it for less time than anything. But anyway. So yeah. Right. Well, what we're going to do, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to end it there. We are at episode... I don't know what
9?
episode.
Is that?
9? No, we 9?
9?
We 10? I can't remember. I think we are 9. I think you're about to do 8. So we are episode 9, ladies and gentlemen, season 3. We want to say a big thank you to everyone. We didn't do our intro. We just kind of...
Oh, yeah, do it now. Just do it now.
Do it now. I know, because I have to edit it in, and I can't be bothered with that.
No. Just leave it in now, and just don't edit it in. So people think that this was just the
This is just the warm up.
This is just the warm up into the show. The show's about to start, ladies and gentlemen. How much are you? You're about 50 minutes in, and now we're starting the podcast.
Now we start. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, if you want to find
ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to Dorks Down Under. I'm your host Dez, and coming to you from the land of the Kiwi, Jordan Halligan. I don't know why we'd pay Michael Page all that money just to play us out. No, Michael Page. Michael Page is the guy I just went for a job with. Why have I forgotten people's names today? Jimmy Page.
Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, if you want to find us, we're available on all good podcast forums and software and platforms and everything else. If you want to see our beautiful faces, you can see them via Spotify as well as our YouTube channel at Dorks Down Under. And you can follow us on our social medias at TikTok and X at Dorks Down Under. I want to say a big thank you to all our recent subscribers and people who share, like, and follow. It's all everything you do does help the podcast. So thank you very much. Peace out. Have a good time. And we're going off to watch some more movies.
Layers.